of thing might work. Sorry, I have a pet bird.
I see this.
Yeah. So just a quick intro. I'm Rez, the CEO and Chief Brand Officer of our creative agency. This is Lauren, our creative director. We're both the leads on account, and we got that email, and we'd just love to have this initial chat to learn a little bit more about you, kind of what prompted the conversation. Gave me some of the highlights, and he mentioned that you guys were talking about paid ads and social and how it's can be a little bit overbearing at times.
You think?
Start wherever you start. Help us get to know you better.
All right, here we go. Let's start at the beginning.
Cool.
This is a process that we're in right now. My broker and myself are kind of team leads on the Elite division, which is our luxury division for Icon Realty. We have regular retail houses, and then we have a commercial side. Our focus right now is only on our residential side of the business. So we are in the process of interviewing different facets of marketing to let people know who we are, what we are. The business is technically almost 10 years old. She started this one almost 10 years ago. So we are still a baby in the real estate business. However, we're kind of a tall giant, top 35 in net sales. So letting people know who we are and what we do is going to be prominent for growth in the next 10 years. So we have probably spent 4 months, 5 months interviewing a couple of different versions of website design, marketing design. Now we're starting to get to the, nitty gritty, the stuff that we don't like to do, which is being seen everywhere, especially socials. Both of us are not in the younger set type, but we like to be seen. So when I was talking to I told him we were in the process of doing this, and he told me he had you guys handling his stuff. So I said it might be a good time to start a conversation, see where your strengths are, and see if it matches up with some of the other pieces that we are currently pulling together. And frankly, we're still pulling them together. It's not like we pulled a lot of triggers yet. Frankly, we found, we are a mid-size broker that happens to work around a lot of large national brokers, and we do not have their budget. We don't have the bandwidth to do some of their things. However, we think more of a grassroots approach to make this business bigger is the right way to do it. We're all local. We all grew up here. We're a based company. So that's the piece that we want to tout to the world, and especially clients. And then we want to be able to battle without having to battle their budget, because we can't. End of day, we won't have 7 figures to put into this budget to make it what they are, but that's okay. There's a niche for us in this business that we can promote, that we do luxury sales, all around the city. We do a really good job. Like I said, we're one of the top, and nobody knows it. And we want to be able to promote that without having to spend the entire budget on socials, frankly.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. You want to do more things, obviously, than just social media.
Right, and we are. So we're currently interviewing a couple, like I said, website design. We have a marketing department that does a lot of our materials, which I think are probably best in class materials, from everything from business cards to what we leave in the house. I think we do a great job of that. I've looked at everybody else's, and I feel like we're probably higher level than most. But now it's going to get to all right, so our web design team we're looking at teams to do that. Now the next piece would be we're going to do some stuff with podcast. Where are you guys located?
Funny enough, Lauren's in Virginia. I'm in Miami.
Oh, I'd rather be in Miami, but anyway. So here's where we are. We're still at the layering of the sandwich category. We've got a couple really good pitches in for some of the big stuff, and we're looking to grow with whatever you start with. We want to grow that, because we can start at a level. We're not looking what we've been pitched a couple of times is like the whole enchilada. And when they
Yeah, I got you.
do that,
Yeah, yeah,
it's very cost prohibitive.
yeah,
It's
100%. Yeah,
for somebody smaller or mid-size, the shoe doesn't fit.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
So if you guys kind of to get back to me after I give you where we are, kind of synopsis of some things that you think you can do to help one
Yeah,
socially grow.
yeah,
I don't even know what all you do, but from talking to, I felt like it was something that could possibly fit the puzzle. And we're looking for humans that want to grow with us,
yeah, sure.
as we continue to not only do residential, commercial development, all the pieces,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
those are all in play right now.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
the first step would be
Locking
help
down the
us
residential side of things. Mhm.
help us be more visible, that somebody sees our elite
Yeah,
logo and knows that means a luxury home. And
yeah, 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 yeah,
that's it. I
yeah,
mean, it's a really simple thought,
yeah, yeah.
but I
Got
think
it.
a simple thought in marketing is exactly what I need versus, they want to put me on the billboard, they want to do this, they want to do
I
that.
got you.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's awesome.
yeah,
But am I ready?
yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, understood. Anything else that you'd like to share before we can go in next?
No, I think that kind of gives you a baseline of where my
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
is, and it's still a beginning
yeah,
thought. So we'll
yeah, yeah,
define
yeah.
that. But let's see what
What
your
are
thoughts
some
are.
goals for the business actually? Beyond becoming a, let's say, a household name and leader within the local area, what goals do you have? Whether it be revenue goals or other types of goals? Obviously, marketing, is our goal is to help you guys achieve your goals. So, what are some of those, let's say, 3 to 5 year milestones that you want to hit?
Yeah, and there will be some revenue goals, obviously, annually, 3, 5, 7, 10. We're in that process of kind of defining where that number is.
Okay, got it.
At one time, it was to grow, not only grow our brand, but grow agents within the brand. So we would like to bring some
Okay,
high-end agents
okay.
into the brand. So, and it's not an amount of high-end agents, it's quality over quantity.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Yeah.
if other people see our brand, know our brand, and are out selling against our brand and say, "Man, I want to do that," that would be a goal.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's not really a build by numbers, large numbers scenario versus the way we want to stair step that into the right people, and
Mhm.
then the right people will in tune grow the growth, revenue, units,
Yep, yep,
because
yep.
the unit number is 500, 600 and up, not
Mhm.
ones, twos, threes. It's easy to grow revenue when you're selling the, you know, seven-figure product
Yeah, 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 yeah,
like Miami.
yeah. 100%. I mean, now Miami's hitting 8 figures. So,
It's eight figures. Yeah,
yeah,
I just saw Austin's post. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
110,000 gallon pool. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm
okay,
getting priced out real quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
sell more stuff. That's my
Yeah,
answer.
that's right, that's right. I've been holding it down for the last 6 years,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's getting a bit ridiculous. This is really, really helpful stuff. Thank you for sharing all the above. Maybe we can tell you a little bit about what we're about, if you would like.
Yep.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right. We're a creative branding, design, and video production agency. I myself have been, prior to starting our agency, I was a corporate marketing director in many different industries, largely small to mid-sized businesses that were very, let's say, resourceful on the budget
Hmm.
side of things. So, throughout my professional career, I've always kind of been working with somewhat of a resource. I don't call it a tight budget. I call it a resourceful budget. And
Yep.
I think there are certainly high impact things that can be done on a resourceful budget. Lauren actually comes from a real estate background where she was working as a designer for a top real estate brand for some time before she crossed over to our agency. So broadly speaking, we work with predominantly small to mid-sized brands. So we're not working with companies generally that have a 7 to 8 figure budget. Normally it's in, let's say, like I don't know, it could be like 5,000-ish a month. In some cases it's even less.
Mm,
It kind of just depends on what it is. We kind of mold ourselves according to where the clients kind of want to go. So
mm,
where you might speak with certain agencies that only do SEO, only do social, only do websites, we do it all. So
mm,
we do creative website design, copywriting, social, paid media, social media, organic content creation, video marketing, and above all, marketing strategy, which is the key here.
mm,
That is where all of it starts from for us. We don't just really dive in. The number one thing that is most important to us, two things. One, who are we targeting? We like to have 3 to 5 clearly defined buyer personas, which would kind of correlate with your typical person that you're trying to attract. And then, second thing, figuring out what types of content pillars would appeal to these individuals. Once we have defined those two elements, we can then start to trickle that down into the channel. But that is essentially the nucleus, if you will. Right? If we don't know who we're speaking to, and we don't know what the key pillars and the pain points are of these individuals, what typically ends up happening is that socials look like a hodgepodge. You look,
mm,
open up the feed, there's no real glue holding the content together. um, I think one other critical component, given the huge emphasis on locality, is local SEO. I think that
mm,
that is going to be a pivotal strategy to what we're doing here. We have a very, you call it a scientific approach towards how we do that. So, one of the other things that we often wear the hat of is a fractional CMO. That role is largely kind of overseeing everything that is going on, and then our role is to kind of see what is going on and be like, okay, from a strategic perspective, this is how everything should kind of speak with one another harmoniously.
mm,
So for example, right now we are working with they're a market leader in the van RV space. So they don't sell vans, but they are a leader in people that are into van culture. So they gut the inside of a van, fully renovate it, stick a shower, sofa, all of that jazz.
mm,
So one of the things we're doing this process for them right now. They're based up in Jacksonville. So
mm,
they're like, hey guys, we are a market leader in this space. This e-commerce side of the business is really suffering, and we're not really sure what to do about it. What our process looked like is firstly understanding what the key goals are of the business and where we're trying to go from a macro level. And then after that, we do keyword research to see what are people actually searching for as it relates to homes and things like that in the
mm,
local area. And then once we have a good sense of the types of things that people are searching for, you could almost regard this as making data informed decisions about how we decide to execute on the marketing strategy. And then once we've got all of those details, we then kind of go into the next phase, which is the actual designing of what we want to do. So with, for
mm,
example, before we
mm,
got going with Lauren and I did a lot of research just to see what's happening in the market around us. What types of things are people gravitating to? Oftentimes, people think we need to go against the grain. We really don't need to go against the grain. We need to go along the grain. Why are we reinventing the wheel when we can already see things that are working favorably? That's not to
right.
say that we're going to just do a carbon copy of what we're seeing out there, but certainly if we're seeing, for example, POV, point of view type of content is working favorably, then we want to inch further into that. If we're
Mm,
seeing more like head facing videos are working well, we want to do more of that. If we're seeing customer success stories and so on and so forth. One of the things that we're really big on, and you kind of you mentioned podcasts. So I do
mm,
think that this would be a strategy that you should consider is
mm,
getting into YouTube.
Mhm.
from a visibility. So I myself, I'm YouTube marketing certified. We're really big on YouTube, predominantly because it is a highly underutilized channel. Most people go naturally towards Instagram and
Mhm.
Facebook, and that's cool. We can do that, but creating content on YouTube is great for conversions, because now you can start to share value added content from specifically the lens of nurturing leads and bringing them to close. How do we
Mhm.
do that? We identify what are the most common objections that you guys typically receive. That's,
Mhm.
we have a YouTube channel for our agency too, and that
Mhm.
is essentially centered on real life conversations that we and real life problems of entrepreneurs. And if we're able to create content tactically and strategically, we don't need 100,000 followers. We close leads all the time, and we don't
Mhm.
have more than 1,000 followers, I would say,
Mhm.
on our Instagram. But we are creating content with intention, with the goal of conversion. Most people just create content for the sake of creating content, and they don't even know why they're creating it. They're just putting
Right.
beautiful stuff on a gallery that looks great, but it ain't bringing in leads, it ain't bringing in money. Then what's it all for? At the end of
Right.
the day.
Right.
So same thing with SEO. A lot of people focus on organic keyword ranking. That's cool, but is organic keyword ranking going to bring me money? Probably not. What's the point
Mhm.
of me being on the top three results of Google and it's not bringing in any business? So we really lean into thinking about full funnel strategies. We're not saying that awareness is not important. It absolutely is. It's going to be critical, I would say, in the first, let's say, 3 months, particularly given the fact that you mentioned that you're still trying to become a household name in the area of. So naturally, we need to invest a little bit of time into awareness, and then from
Mhm.
there, I would not suggest that you run any paid ads initially. I think
Mhm.
the focus from the jump should be more centered around organic content and getting that in a place where we are comfortable. And then when we are starting to see some results based off of that, maybe like an active blog page, maybe a YouTube page, the podcast, as you mentioned, starting to get the wheels turning a little bit, starting to
Mhm.
see what's happening. And then once that motor is running, we can then start to go into paid ads, and then we can start to kind of evolve and introduce additional things. But we generally operate on a very phased approach
Mhm.
that starts with a more of a coherent marketing plan, which is not where we are now, where are we trying to go, and what
Mhm.
strategies make the most sense in order for us to get there. That is
Mhm.
generally our philosophy. So you could even argue that we are channel or strategy agnostic. It's more important for us in terms of what is the big picture and what are the personas, and then being able to speak directly to those personas. I mean, you just in this brief conversation, you strike me at least as a very charismatic guy, where I think that you would actually present very well on camera. So I think that it would be great for us to shoot some long form videos, maybe some short form videos too. As it relates to editing and all of the headache that is required with video, we can handle all of the headache aspects. So all you got to do is literally get this bad boy on your phone, say some
Mhm.
stuff, send it over to us, and then we will kind of handle the rest. So our goal is to make the process as least burdensome for you. And you
Mhm.
probably know this, an extremely busy dude. So
Mhm.
our typical approach is, hey, we're willing to involve you as much as you would like to be involved in this process.
Mhm.
But I also know that you're a very busy guy. So candidly, if you want to review everything, you can. I'm just being real with you that it's going to slow down the process a little bit, because I
Yeah.
know that is you're probably going to get to it a week later. And he's been we're gracious, we're very grateful, and he's been gracious enough to just kind of allow us to get on with it, and then we give
Mhm.
him monthly reports on how things are performing. Hey, we put this out this week, seems to be going well. The last thing that I will say on this, and then I'll turn it over to Lauren for anything else, is social media posting is important. Posting alone is not going to increase engagement. In fact, posting is likely not going to yield much of any engagement in this day and
Hmm.
age. What's going to yield more engagement is actually being active on social media,
Right.
which is engaging with other like minded accounts, other B2B accounts, other brokers. These things will eventually start to give us more visibility. A lot of people just think,
oh yeah, I can just post captions and reels and that, and then I can just post along.
and we're typically like, well, you're going to be in for a rude awakening when you see that your engagement eventually plateaus because nobody is actually on social media doing these things. Um,
Right.
Lauren, from a real estate, you've been in this world a lot. What have you found to be beneficial?
So I noticed through that position that community-based content tended to be what creates the most trust with the community around you. So, for example, one of our competitors, a lot of the content that they did had very high yielding, I guess, interactions with the community. And they were a really household name and everybody knew about it. They knew what kind of branding had. They had that sort of eco greens, browns, warm tones. And they also did something called, I can't remember the exact name, but they would highlight a specific business in the area and usually either shoot photos or videos, just kind of promoting those businesses. And that in itself also helped because those businesses then looked when they had either clients or let's say they worked with a lot of the local like restaurants and stuff, usually the higher end. And so people who got to see that restaurant on their social media also tended to lean more towards or see it as a visibility outside of just them pushing,
hey, we're here, this is what we do.
I did notice that sort of content where it's like, we're doing really well, here's what we're doing, that tends to perform not as well on social media because people just tend to be more interested in community-based things or seeing what the environment's like at the actual realty office itself. And so all of that to say, I am always a big pusher of community-based content. And I think especially with how many neighborhoods there are, with how many gorgeous like little, even Carytown or the Fan District, or there's so many cute little things that you can hone in on. And that also goes within the luxury space. So the content itself will be featuring higher end things to focus on that higher end client, right?
Right.
And so I want to repeat some of the stuff that you said to ensure that I'm understanding correctly. So I remember that you mentioned you are looking to have higher end agents entering the brand or interested in the brand. That's one of the goals. And the other is obviously spreading the word about as a luxury go-to. And so I wanted to see if one of those has more priority over the other, is spreading the word of what you guys do or kind of establishing your, not domain, but establishing yourself as the go-to. Is that more important, same importance? How does that kind of rank?
I think it would be probably first step because I
Okay.
think if we build the name to a point, then the agents will come.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think we build the agents first and then try to drive the name. I think the banner is going to be what's going to say, hey, I want to be there.
Okay.
So my answer is first and foremost presence in the market. And I like the ideas about using the local flair
Yeah.
because we have so much of it here. I mean,
Mhm.
this is an independent driven restaurateur. This is a
Yeah.
independent boutique kind of place. It's not Miami.
Yeah.
It's it's a big small town, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a big small town that's landed in the top 10 move to cities in the US.
Mhm.
So figure that out. So
Yeah.
what do we do to drive as the city grows for people moving in, when
Mhm.
they get here, they start to look at the higher value homes that They don't just look at a Long and Foster. They don't just look at a Compass. They don't just look at
Yeah.
a huge banner. Is like, I've got
Mm.
to go to them to find the $1 million house.
Yeah. Stephen, you're raising a very critical point here, and in marketing speak, we would refer to what you just said as understanding and identifying true searcher intent. And the better we can understand and identify searcher intent, the more efficient and more effective our content will be, so that when people are punching certain things into Google, like best places to live, we are popping up, or what is
Mhm.
the average home size, or what are some common pitfalls when buying in, really just kind of creating a list of common things that are on
Mhm.
people's minds. But we can only know the answer to search your intent when we have clearly defined 3 to 5 buyer personas. Once we have
Mhm.
those 3 to 5 buyer personas, the idea is that we would have separate lines of search your intent. One might be families, one might be pre-retirees, one might
Yep.
be a high net worth professional, so on and so
Yep.
forth. Yeah.
Yep. They're all different. Exactly. We started this luxury division ground up. There was no help. We got it by digging in and getting the clients to allow us to touch multi-million-dollar properties.
Mhm.
And that's a confidence that you gotta instill in a seller
Mhm.
that doesn't know your name.
Yeah.
Literally.
How did you do that?
Sales 101, baby. That's it.
Yeah.
Get to know them, figure out what they need,
Yeah.
answer their questions.
Yeah.
Don't talk, listen, win the
Yeah.
prize.
Yeah. Love it. What types of, can you attach any, like, I don't know, even loose or broad trends around the types of people who are generally purchasing these properties, profile wise?
Profile is pretty interesting. The highest end properties are definitely people from not from
Mhm.
majority of them are New York, New Jersey, Philly, DC. So we run some ads all the way up the coast. These are people that want to get out of the madness, Miami, and come
Mhm.
to a mid-sized city where they can spend 1.5 or 2 million and have a castle or
Yeah.
a very nice place and not have to be in the rat race.
Yeah.
A lot of government transfers, you name it. DC has been a hotbed for people being able to work remote.
Yeah.
So they're able to sell their house in Arlington for 1.5 or 2 and come down here and buy, pay cash. Probably 50-60% of my clients are all cash. They write a check
Oh.
for almost everything I touch,
Mhm.
which
Mhm.
I love. Yesterday was 1.48 million he wrote a check.
What's the occupation, generally speaking, of these people?
I don't know.
Okay.
And it's not like I don't know on Miami. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
IT. They own their own companies, have sold their own companies, have
Okay.
been super successful year over year,
Okay.
have built a lot of equity in other places, even to that point, a lot of these people are second home.
Mhm.
So they may buy a $1 million condo and then still have a house at the river, or
Okay.
Mills still have places in Florida.
Okay. Got it.
So my broker is actually out of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
So
Got it.
we have business down there,
Okay. Cool. Nice.
commercial and residential. Yeah, business, and that's part of what we do is we're able to sell both sides of the equation. We'll sell them and then find them a place in Miami, Lauderdale, West Palm.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Full
Okay.
service.
Yeah. Beautiful. Age approximately of these individuals, roughly?
45 and up usually.
All right. Male,
they've got-
female,
Yeah,
or couples?
ish.
Okay.
Kind of comes and goes.
Gotcha.
It's definitely people that have amassed portfolio money mostly.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay.
It's not all hard cash, but it's
Yeah.
portfolio.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And with rate of return on a house being 6 to 8% and increasing, they're okay to pull portfolio, use that money And if
Yeah.
they ever want to pull it back, they kick it back in.
Yeah, I gotcha. Cool, perfect. All right, I think this is a lot of really great information. Thank you for sharing all of it. There's a couple of pathways that I see, and we're more than happy to have more of these conversations, Stephen, too.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that comes to mind is maybe a branding workshop to start with. And generally, those I can also send you a recording of a live branding workshop that we actually did with a real estate brand up in Minnesota. And funny
Mm-hmm.
enough, they have very similar goals to what you've described. They wanted to attract killer agents. They are also investing in the high-end areas of Minnesota. What a branding workshop typically looks like, it is a 2-hour interactive session. And by
Mm-hmm.
the end of the workshop, we will have clarity into 4 different things. The first would be being crystal clear on the vision mapping side of things, aka where are we trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking, we don't really care where you're trying to go in the next month. We want to know where you're trying to go in the next 6 to 12 months, and then
Sure.
subsequently the 3 to 5 year mark. And then from there on, we kind of like reverse engineer our strategies based on the bigger picture. And then number 2, we would dive in deeper into the overall look and feel of the brand. How do we want to appear? Obviously, we're a premium luxury real estate brand, so that comes with certain expectations and a certain look that feeds into that. Lauren and I have both worked with several premium luxury brands. So being clear on how we want to look and our visual identity would be unraveled. The third would be how we communicate, which is the tone of voice. And then I think the most important and where the most time is spent is collaboratively defining 3 to 5 buyer personas, along with just broadly speaking strategies that would appeal to those. And the buyer personas would include stuff beyond just basic demographics, but more so really digging deep into true pain points, the hassle of buying a second home and where to begin and all of those things, and just kind of coming up with like a long profile, so that way we have a nice synopsis. And then what do we do with that synopsis? That then makes its way to your marketing team, to anybody in the organization, so that way we now create content and materials in a way that appeals to these individuals. And that generally is uncovered by the 2-hour workshop. Then
Mm-hmm.
the other thing that I think might make sense, and these are just options, we're just talking here, is I honestly think given the multi-pronged aspect of what we are talking about, I think a fractional CMO type of thing might work. Sorry, I have a pet bird.
I see this.
Yeah. But a fractional CMO type of thing would be, again, more broadly looking at the picture from a 30,000-foot view and kind of orchestrating all of the parts so they speak harmoniously. That's another option. And the third option is, if you wanted to start off at a very basic level, we could do social media, which is kind of what we do for Phil, and that would be just getting the visuals. If you chose to do the workshop, and you wanted to kind of move forward in a more of an ongoing capacity, we can give you a discount off the top. The branding workshops generally are about $3,000 for a 2-hour session. But as I mentioned, if we have, let's say, a mutual agreement that after the workshop we would continue and actually execute and implement, we can figure out a dollar amount that is amenable. When it comes to budgets and things like that, we're a boutique agency. We want to work with you. We're really big on also growing with brands. We
Right.
still have our very first client when we started our agency, and it's very rare, unless budgets drastically change, that clients leave us.
Gotcha.
That's I would say a testament to the work. So those are a few options for you. I'm sure you want to mull some of the information over, but is there anything kind of just off the bat that stands out or anything?
No, I think that's a good start. I think I see kind of where kind of stair stepping. Obviously socials probably are the first entree into you and your team, and kind of see where that starts. And then I like the workshop idea. I think there's a couple of avenues I think we could play with that down the road,
Cool.
and then work our way out. I think right now I've got a marketing meeting with the local marketer. I want to see what's in his bag of tricks before I say, hey, yeah, I want to add this to the thing, because I'm not sure
Yeah.
what all he has yet. We've
Yeah.
only had, I just did an intro meeting with him. I've got another meeting with him coming up probably in a week, and I
Okay.
can find out, what he does, and then I can get back with you guys and say, he does this. What other things can you add? You know,
Mhm.
overlay on top of that, that's going to be, because I don't think he does a lot of the social stuff. I think he
Okay.
does. I don't know. Let's find out what that piece
Yeah.
is. But when said something about you guys, I thought it would be a good at least start conversation to say, hey, if this guy can only do this, what can you do? And
Yeah.
then maybe we do merge in or out based on
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. I would suggest, assuming that you are amenable to this idea, that depending on however this all plays out, we should kind of work in tandem with your current marketer, because oftentimes this is how disjointed marketing is often arises when you got three different people doing
Yep.
things, and they don't speak with one another, so you got them all operating in isolation, and that's a recipe for disaster. So let's just say, for argument's sake, he's running paid media. It would be great to understand from him, all right, what's your goals for paid media, and how are you approaching that, and how can we support that effort through organic strategy. Nothing from marketing should be
Right.
operating in a silo. Everything should be
Yeah.
working in harmony with one another.
Yep.
How did you feel about this conversation? Do you like our vibe, or what do you reckon?
No, I dig the bird. That was cool. That was a good touch.
Yeah. Oh, that
No,
was
no.
planned. That was planned, Stephen.
Yeah, I saw that. Come to me. No, this is a good start.
Cool.
Let's probably do a follow-up in about a week or
Yeah,
so. Let
sounds
you
good.
guys kind of reach out, and then potentially I'll put this together with my broker. She and I will get on another call once I have a better feel for them. I'm just not so sure where all the pieces are yet, and I agree with you. So the other piece is our true marketing person that handles all our print. He does so much for us. He's offsite also. He's in Ohio. So he's offsite too. So yeah, we have the same vision that this
Cool.
will be a seamless. Even not everybody does all the things, and we're not ready for somebody that does all the things yet. So
Yeah, yeah,
if we
yeah,
can put people together, I think he does a remarkable job. I don't use my photographer all the time, but
Okay.
I've got my own
Okay.
pretty much in-house person that does YouTube channel for us. I mean, she does a ton in her marketing kit, and I'm not touching it. I don't
Yeah.
know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So
Got
having
you.
access to that on top of socials to
Yeah.
me would be this coup de grace.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, agreed. And as it relates to YouTube and things like that, we can design thumbnails and all of that. When it comes to YouTube, thumbnails are by far the most critical component that will decide whether your video gets watched. Most people spend all of their effort in the content, and then the thumbnail looks like it was designed by a toddler, and then nobody watches it. So we
And
can.
that's what, yeah, I agree. We are
Yeah,
not doing any of that. So right now
yeah,
we probably have close to good content. If we
yeah,
did some intros, and our video side of it, when we're actually doing good videos, especially these multi-million-dollar properties, it's the
yeah,
things
yeah,
people want to see. They're
yeah,
intrigued. They may never
yeah.
buy one, but they're intrigued.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean,
So
look at the Selling Manhattan. Have you seen that
yeah,
one on
yeah,
Netflix?
yeah.
Yeah, let's say 1% of people can afford those, but it is great entertainment
It's
value content. So
exactly, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we're selling Sunset so we're a little different animal, but not a bad one, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Would you like me to share with you that recording of the? You don't have to watch the whole thing. It's pretty long. It's like 90 minutes long, but it'll give you at least a flavor for what to expect for the workshop.
Absolutely. Kind
Cool.
of send that, and then any other notes you guys want to send back on kind of the thoughts for us, at
Yeah.
just beginning thoughts. Just I'm
Sure.
not asking to run
I
the world
understand.
here.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
some notes that I can go back to my broker and say, okay, this is a piece that we probably need to look at
Yeah.
on top of the other things that we're doing.
Okay, cool. Perfect. That sounds good. You get that from us within the next 24 hours. So Lauren and I will merge our thoughts together, and don't worry, we won't overwhelm you with 10 different things. We'll kind of just set the stage for at least how we might approach the engagement should
That's
you
it.
choose to move forward, type of thing.
That's it. And the types of things you think
Cool.
would be very valuable for
Yeah.
the dream that we have.
Yes,
So
understood.
if we can
Perfect.
if we can get to that, and it's reasonable and it's a growing business,
Yeah.
which it all is, it's going to lead to a whole lot more if we can
Yeah.
figure out. We can't get dropped the whole bucket on us at the beginning. It's just
I get
it's
that.
too much.
I
It's
get
too
that,
much.
man. 100%. Understood. Such a pleasure speaking with you. You've given us a lot of great information. We're really excited. So we'll keep the
That's good.
conversation fluid, and then let's pick it up next week.
I appreciate it. Thank you both
All right.
so much, and we
Cheers.
will catch up.
All right.
Thank
Cheers,
you. Nice
Steve.
meeting you.
Have a great
See
day.
ya.